Thank you for joining us. It's 13 GMT, and there is mounting international condemnation of Israel following its airstrike in central Gaza, which killed 18 people, including 6 employees of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees. UNRWA says it's the highest death toll of its staff in a single incident. The EU's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, condemned Wednesday's attack in al-Nuseirat refugee camp and said in a statement he was outraged by the killing of 6 UNRWA staffers after Israeli strikes hit for the 5th time a school in Nuseirat, sheltering 12,000 displaced people. The disregard of the basic principles of international humanitarian law, especially protection of civilians, cannot and should not be accepted by the international community. The German Foreign Ministry also condemned the deaths of the UN staff, saying humanitarian aid workers must never be victims of rockets. The death of 6 UNRWA staff at a school in Nuseirat is totally unacceptable. Sam Rose, who's the Senior Deputy Director of UNRWA Affairs in Gaza, he is in Khan Yunis and says UNRWA employees are devastated and feel nowhere in Gaza is safe.
This is one of the most difficult days that we faced in UNRWA in Gaza during the most difficult conflict that we've ever faced. Staff in the offices are in shock, they're grieving, they're despairing, and the colleagues on the ground who I've talked to in the shelter providing first-line response are just devastated. Yet another attack on a protected UN facility, the 5th time, as you said at the start of the clip, that this school itself has been attacked. So it's devastating, it's horrific, it's all these superlatives, and just the scale and the rapidity of the incidents are just too difficult for us to get our heads around sometimes.
These were local humanitarian workers who were helping their fellow Palestinians. Today, Gaza really is a dangerous place to work for humanitarian workers. No one seems to be safe. Is there a point, Sam, where it'll be impossible to do your work on the ground?
I mean, we're certainly running out of options. The highest number of UN workers and humanitarians slain in any conflict, the vast majority of them UNRWA workers. We're facing increasing difficulties getting our supplies into Gaza. We had a terrible incident at one of the checkpoints trying to go north a couple of nights ago to lead on the administration of the polio campaign. So yeah, we're running out of options. The space in which we're able to operate.
Let's now speak to Alan Liel, who's the former Director General of Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He was also Israeli ambassador to South Africa, joining us from Tel Aviv. Ambassador, thank you so much for being with us. We hear a global condemnation yet again of Israel. How will the Netanyahu government be viewing this? Does this international condemnation matter at all to Israel's government?
I just heard your description of what happened. Sounds terrible, but I must tell you, we were not exposed here in Israel to any of it yet. The coverage here of the war is focusing today on Syria, on Lebanon, and still on this American-Turkish peace activist. So maybe it's about to come, but there is no coverage here. So if you ask about the impact internally in Israel or on our government, we were not exposed to it. And the only thing I've heard so far is that Netanyahu is not answering the phone calls of the Secretary General of the UN, Guterres, but they didn't explain beyond it. So I guess it was related to UNRWA.
But it's not the first time that we've seen condemnation of Israel from the international community, whether from the European Union. We've heard from Josep Borrell, the UN Secretary General. These attacks have happened very often in the past 11 months, almost a year now, and there's condemnation of Israel, denunciation of Israel, and none of that seems to resonate with the Israeli government.
Sure, this is happening almost daily, and obviously there is an accumulation, and it's a burden on Israel's image and on Israel's international standing. But if I am trying to penetrate the mind of the Israeli government, and as you know, I'm not there for a long period of time now, I think the Israeli government cares less at this stage about public reaction, media reaction, and it focuses on governmental reactions. And I think only when it comes to a governmental level, to a governmental move, the Israeli government is seeing it as a damage to our international standing.
Right.
As long as it's media, I don't think they are very caring about it.
But what about, Mr. Lyle, what about the Israeli citizens? Are they not concerned about their country's global image, its deteriorating image, Israel being accused of genocide?
Well, first, we don't see what you see abroad. Much of what you see abroad, we don't see here. The Israelis are focusing on their own casualties, and we have casualties almost every day now on the damage to the north of Israel, to the south of Israel. So the agenda here is very different. What the Israelis know and hear is what's going on in the two international courts in The Hague, what's going on in the UN, and if there is a governmental move, specifically like recognition of Palestine and so on, it reaches the news here. But I don't think the Israeli public, not the experts and not the maybe ministry officials, foreign ministry officials, I don't think the Israeli public is worried at this stage about it. It's much more worried about the personal security, maybe the damage to the economy.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.